Some people say, yeah, I want to learn VFX, but VFX isn't one thing. It's not like a box with a magic, like that VFX button, that special button that you buy to add to your keyboard.
Keep going.
I cannot even go. The waves is pushing me.
They go like that. Action.
Push me, I'm going to seize my breath.
Go inside. Come on. You don't really my heart.
You know, with those situations where you're working in water, you need to have sort of safety things in place. You need to do a risk assessment. A risk assessment basically involves you going down to the location and at the point where you're doing your recce, you check whether the areas that you're going to be working in are safe for crew and actors and stuff. Once you kind of work out what the problems or foreseen issues might be, you kind of work with your set people to see how things can be made safer, and then also you look into what safety equipment can be provided for the actors as well and the crew. But you know, sometimes it depends on the how you want to use that within the story, use that scene within the story. If there's safer ways to do it, then we employ safer ways. My name's Charles Oleghe. I'm a DP, Director of Photography, VFX Artist Supervisor.
A VFX artist combines artistic skills and technical expertise to be able to achieve desired visual effects for a project. It combines CGI, compositing, matte painting, animating, special effects, and also motion capture. On the other hand, Director of Photography plays a crucial role in visual storytelling of a film or a television production. So visualizing, camera and lighting decisions, shot and compositions, and blocking as well is part of the duty of a Director of Photography. Also, he or she coordinates crew members working with them to be able to achieve the desired results. My guest for today is a giant of both fields. He is a professional with years of experience and also the Director of Photography for the amazing CHETA series that I'm currently working on as a movie audio editor, and also he is the head of the VFX team as well. So guys, please relax and enjoy because we have a lot to learn in this video. This video is mainly for those that are creatives and looking for answers to questions like this, and I hope that you find value from this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section and please watch till the end. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Glory Rex. I am a content creator, a poet, and a movie audio editor. In this particular video, I'll be sharing something exciting for creatives that are interested in topics like this. I hope you actually find value from this video because my guest today is actually a giant of both fields, like I mentioned earlier. He's somebody that has years of experience, and I hope you definitely find value from this video. So before we move forward, I would love to say thank you to my returning subscribers. You guys are the realest MVPs. Thank you for always watching my channel. Thank you to those that have subscribed, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section because it actually helps, because your feedback is really important. It helps me know what to do, what you like, and what you want me to improve on. If you actually enjoyed watching this video, please share with every other person that you know will find value from this video.
So I'd always been interested in VFX as a child. My dad kind of got me into, you know, all these fantasy films, and you know, he worked in television as well, so he worked at NTA. But in the UK, growing up in the UK, he always used to buy lots of books and magazines about filmmaking. There's lots of publications on filmmaking and stuff, so we used to, you know, he used to buy them, I used to read them, and then we kind of used to talk a lot about how certain things were done. So there was this animator, VFX guy called Ray Harryhausen, who did a lot of work with models, like way before, you know, the whole Jurassic Park thing. He used to do like monsters and dinosaurs and stuff for Hollywood films, but he was a stop motion animator, so he used to do everything by hand. So there was no CGI like they do with sort of Jurassic Park and such films. I learned a lot watching films and reading books, and also as a kid trying out some stuff. My dad taught me how to animate a bit with using film, not using a computer. So it kind of gave me an idea of how everything was done. And at the same time as well, he taught me how to edit 8mm film. So I used to, edit little films as well as a kid. That's kind of how I got into VFX, but it was more animation. Then it's only till after uni, I started working with a bunch of friends of mine who were animators, filmmakers, and we got together and started a company. All our skills kind of rubbed off on each other, I guess. So at this point now, technology's moved on and we're all kind of into computers and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of, there were kind of different types of software that one can use. At that time, it was like After Effects and Lightwave. Lightwave was quite big then because quite a few film companies used Lightwave in the early days, just like in the early 90s and stuff. So we kind of progressed from there and, kept on kind of working on, commissions, private projects, music videos, that kind of thing. And moving on from there, I think where it kind of picked up a lot was coming to Nigeria to work on Ajoche as a DOP. But the VFX side started by accident. It was an accidental thing. It was trying to save shots, basically. So we didn't have to reshoot scenes where we had microphones enter into the scene. So that's where it started. We had a few problems. Obviously, I'm the DP. So I'm like, to reshoot this, the amount of crew members we'd have to get back together and cast and everything. No one knows to sit, enter the frame. So let me see what I can do to paint out the microphones, the boom. So it kind of started from there, really, painting out booms, and then, having complex scenes where the microphone, the boom is too far away from the actors. So I'd have the actual boom operator in the scene with the actors. So if it's quite a wide shot, because we had our sound guy, the head of sound, Ebony, didn't really like the idea of using radio mics. He preferred the dynamics of using, a boom microphone. So I was like, okay, let's just have the boom operator in the scene with the actors, and then I'd assess everything and then work out how I'm going to paint them out, and then we'd shoot. So it's not something that we do all the time, but we needed it for that scene because it made sense to do that at the time. So yeah, it just picked up from there, and then started doing VFX in lots of different TV series and that we produced and films and stuff. As a VFX artist myself, I find a lot of value in me being able to DP, because a lot of VFX scenes that I shoot involve having to use a camera to shoot the scene. So I figure, for me, it's important that I do manage the two things. And coming from a background of doing quite a bit of work where the crews are smaller sometimes, you find that you end up doing more than one job. So I'll be the DP and then I may handle VFX as well, or anything green screen related. But you always have to understand how cameras work, how codecs work, how you can shoot the scenes in a format that allow for dynamics in color grade and keying out color and stuff like that. So I always find that it's good to have those two skills together. But I do manage them. Not everything, VFX is more of a thing to help reinforce a story, not the story. The story is the story. So I do, try and balance the two things. Okay, the equipment is standard. From the beginning, you need to think about what you're shooting, and also capturing it in the right format so that you can work with it in post. That's the kind of the basics of it. But the equipment wise, is all dependent on the story. It's not, there's no standard way of doing things. A lot of the time I'm into the production quite early, so I'll be told, oh, we're going to do a story about, say, this particular era in, say, it's a Nigerian story, so this particular era in maybe Yoruba culture or Igbo culture. So when the synopsis comes through, I actually go and do some research so I can get an understanding of the time, get an understanding of some customs, also what people were wearing, also how they lived, what the surroundings were like. Because when you start kind of trying to come up with visuals for a show, you have to do some of your own research, but then you have to talk to the production designers, talk to props people, talk to the producers, directors about what their vision is, what they need, what they want to see. Then I put in my input into how I see it too, and how we can achieve certain things. A lot of the shows, majority of them, I'm head of technical as well. I make sure I talk to everybody, even down to costume, because it's important that we're able to create something amazing past just what's written on paper. Because a lot of the shows we've done are kind of fantasy, so we need to kind of step slightly forward ahead of ourselves to see what's achievable. But the thing is, it's all dependent on everyone else's vision and locations and how we want it to look. Because the thing is, even down to I'll come up with a kind of a lookbook with equipment in it, talk to directors about what's available to them, how I see it, how I see skin tones, how I see environments, how I see interiors, exteriors, how I want to use light. I had that conversation with the directors, what our limits are, and also productions also are dependent on budget as well. So how that, I try to get as much in, so that the directors have got as much freedom as possible to express themselves also. So I get into the production really early, like way before there's any talk of who's doing anything else in some of the departments. That part wasn't hard. There's a whole movement in London of I don't know what they call it, UK Nollywood or whatever. There's that, but also I went to school here when I was a kid. I came over when I was a kid and went to school for about 4 or 5 years. So being around Nigerian filmmakers wasn't an issue. There was a lot of Nigerian filmmakers in London too, and it wasn't a problem really. And before I came kind of to stay properly or be around properly, I had come over to shoot something, so it wasn't. And because I'd lived here when I was a kid, I didn't really have a problem with so much with language or dealing with people. Kind of relationship skills, inter-crew dynamics and stuff like that. It wasn't a problem. I always believe that we all have to kind of respect each other and cooperate. No one's idea is lesser than the other person's, you know what I mean? So it's fine. It's fine. It's not a problem. The green screen side, the green screen side of things, it depends on what we're shooting. We use it, we use it here and there, but it's not the main backdrop for the shows that we shoot. Everything is natural. We're outside. Green screen is only for the VFX side of things that we do, and sometimes they're massive, sometimes they're small, sometimes you can only contain one person within them. It's all about the story. So the need for those kind of VFX green screen scenes is all dependent on what we're trying to convey. in a story. It's not a major part, but definitely if there's a lot of it, then there's a lot of work for post-production. Some of the time, it all depends on where you're shooting, how the green screen's been held together, and also how big it is. Because if a green screen is massive, and the wind's blowing it becomes a sail. It becomes like a sail on a ship, catch wind and stuff. So it will start waving around. If we have those situations, we tend to go on rotoscope, which involves us cutting out the person, doing some of the work that way to get rid of the green screen, the defected part of the image that that's giving us problems. But it's not it's not a major issue. VFX artists, quite a lot of them work alone, work by themselves. And if you're working by yourself, you find that you have to absorb lots of different information, But in the industry, actually, people have individual jobs. So you might have someone who's just modeling, someone who's just doing textures, someone who's just doing simulations, whether it's smoke, water, fire. You don't generally get someone doing everything. You do get the process of doing everything is a generalist's job. A generalist is someone who has skills in all those different areas. But those skills also you pick up when you're in your early days, when you're working alone. You pick up lots of little skills. The thing about VFX technology is that, for instance, depending on the story, I've had to do stuff where it's special effects, not VFX, like CGI stuff, like, using miniatures. You get the set department to build a miniature. Maybe you want to blow up a building or something. So we'll get the set department to build a miniature of that building, that structure, rather than use CGI. And then we just shoot it at the right frame rates to give it that volume, to make it look bigger than it actually is. So we might build a scale model of the building and then blow that up instead. That's one side of it, but that's more, lots of handwork. That's more physical objects that you're destructing. Then, you've got the CGI side where, as I said, different people have different jobs. So you might have people that just do rotoscoping, roto work, people who animate, people who rig models. That's just putting the skeleton into the model, people who create HDRIs. It varies from, compositors who put everything together in one. So the jobs vary. So most times, like I had a period when I was working on my own, then, jobs started to kind of become a bit more diverse. So I had to get a team together, which consists of generalists as well, but we all concentrate on different things. If your strength is CGI, then you get a lot more of the CGI work possibly. Kind of really depends on the job. Job by job, there's no two jobs that are the same. CGI is playing more of a part in films nowadays, but before, I tended to get an impression that producers think that because you didn't turn up with a camera, lights, actors, and sound equipment, you're just sitting in front of the computer. They tend to think there's a button on the computer that says VFX. You just press it and it magically fixes everything, when that's not so. So I tended to get that impression that, they don't take VFX seriously, but it's becoming a thing now. That was then, but it's becoming a thing now that, films are incorporating VFX into their workflows. I think we haven't quite reached the point where producers are understanding what's possible. So at that point, and we know what the industry's like, you want to get paid proper money and they're not prepared to pay. But it's all good. CGI is computer generated imagery. It can be anything that's generated with your computer to add to your live action footage. So it could be anything from an animation to a 3D object to, mostly 3D objects, combining simulations into something that to enhance something. You know what I mean? It varies, but it's computer generated images. So anything, whether it be you're doing a photogrammetry scan, like you're doing a scan of an object to add into your film, that's part of CGI as well. You're doing a simulation of water or dust or something, it's CGI. So it all depends on what you're doing. It's vast. There's no, like some people say, yeah, I want to learn VFX, but VFX is not one thing. It's not like a box with magic, like that VFX button, that special button that you buy to add to your keyboard. What criticism? You know what? When you're working on something, it's like anything else. If someone comes to you and says that you're a bricklayer and they want you to build a wall, and they come to you and they say they don't like this part of the wall, why is it sticking out? If you're able to fix that error, then you can go back and fix that error. If you're cooking for a wedding and they say they don't like the taste of your bono soup or your egusi, there's no salt. No problem. You take salt, you add. You do till you get to the point where it's the way it should be. But you do have occasions where there's certain people you can't satisfy them. They just want more and more. It's the people that pay you the least that give you the most problems. But we all love our work. So my name is Charles Oleghe. I've worked on Ajoche, RIONA, CHETA, DJ, as a director of photography and VFX artist. And I've also worked on Crime and Justice Nigeria, some people call it Crime and Justice Lagos, as a post-production supervisor and VFX artist. And I worked on the Black Book as a VFX supervisor. Actually, I was a VFX supervisor on Crime and Justice as well. So, and there's other projects, but that's some of them. Everything that we do as VFX artists, we're trying to bring an effect closer to reality. Like, if it was to happen in real life, this is what it may look like, or this is what it would look like. In terms of VFX, the best VFX for me is the invisible stuff. I've done a lot of invisible stuff that no one would ever know was a VFX shot. And also, as a DP, just develop the way you see things, develop the way you interpret an image. If you're starting out, photography is very good. It's a very good way to start to compose shots and look at how you see the world. Photography, brilliant. I did a lot of photography. I used to even develop my own pictures. It's worth looking into. Technology has changed now, so you can use your phone. Don't think you need a big camera to do it. Use your phone to take those snaps. You can use your phone now to actually shoot stuff. The Blackmagic Cam app turns your iPhone into a Blackmagic camera. Just learn as much as you can. There's so many tutorials on YouTube now. When I started, there was just books and books and magazines, and then the whole YouTube thing started to kind of take off, and you got to learn more. There's so much now available for you to be able to learn and develop your craft, and just do as much as you can, practice as much as you can, find diverse projects to work on, whether they could be fashion, they could be music videos, they could be films, but just keep on developing, learning new things. As technology is moving so quickly, there are areas which fascinate me, and I think they have the same effect on many other people as well. Just keep up with that. You don't have to know everything all in one day. It's not possible. And as I said, there's generalists who have wide knowledge, but then in the industry you'll find that on one project there might be 20, 30, 40 people that are just animating, 20, 30, 40 people that are just rotoscoping, 20, 30, 40 people that are just rigging or doing simulations. And all of these people, all their efforts come together into one, into one product, into one project, into one scene. And, scenes can take any time, can take, 1 week to 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks to 20 minutes. in some cases, you know, to complete. But you know, despite that, just keep on doing your work, keep on practicing, keep on learning new things, keep on telling stories, because each of those things, even VFX is a way of telling stories. Being a cinematographer, it's the same exact thing. You know, start learning, you know, communication skills, learning about the other departments that are working on the same production as well. So when you're talking to them, you're able to communicate in their language. You know, so they'll understand you, you understand them, because that's one of the most important things. Because you always need to be able to communicate in order to plan, and then in order for you to make your plans work, you still have to communicate with your people on set when you're shooting VFX stuff, or when you're in post. You know that you've come back with something you can work with, rather than you didn't really have that interaction, and then now you've got this thing you can't work with. You know, going back to your production company and saying, so sorry sir, this something that I shot, it's not working though. So that might be a problem. So I think communication and learning. You're never too old to do this thing as well. You know, you can start now. Start in your 30s. Start when you're 16. Start in your 40s. It's just really about what motivation you have. And today, every day is a learning process. Don't think because I'm a big man now, I don't have to learn new things. It's necessary for you to learn new things. But always practice, communicate, and keep pressing on. To see more videos from Glory Rex, please subscribe to this channel.
Let me know your thoughts and suggestions in the comment section. And guys, thank you so much. I'll see you guys in my next video.